Hey everybody, it's Jang here with a look at a LEGO Ninjago set. This is the Ronin R.E.X. It's a 547 piece set that comes with 2 good guy figures and 2.5 bad guys. The R.E.X. is an interesting design of aircraft. You see it's got a couple of probably turbo fan engines up there and turbines, just turbo jets down on the sides, something like that. Has a little bit of a helicopter kind of look to it, but minus a rotor. Especially when you start to look at it from the side because of the big canopy section, but then the thin tail. This right here is actually intended to be a handle for huge figs like us to hold on to the thing, to pick it up and actually fly it around like this. So that's a really nice little feature that they do there. It just makes it a lot easier to fly this thing through the air. Unfortunately, there's no trigger or anything for you to actually shoot something off to the front. I really wish that there was a trigger. I want to shoot with this thing. However, instead of that, they've got the built-in launcher on the back, the Air Jitsu Flyer launcher in gold with this. And here's the ripcord. Now ripcords can be done very, very poorly. I've seen it done on too many sets, not just with LEGO, but with other stuff where ripcords can really get in the way and there's something that you just have to kind of carry around with you in your pocket or something. This actually has a good way of storing it. So just by default, you leave it in the craft. It's also hooked up to a geared mechanism whereby as you pull this out, it's actually turning those fans in the front, giving those a little bit of a extra spin that can spin up, and that's also connected up here. So if you just want to directly cause those to turn, come on, just pull that out just a little bit. There we go. There you go. So you can do that just by hand if you want. The Air Jitsu Flyer itself will hold any ninja figure or any figure that you want, as long as it doesn't have anything too bulky on it, any super large armor or anything, or large bulky weapons. So pretty much just a straightforward figure will fit into that nice little bubble, which gets locked into place. If you want to take that out, you just rotate this out and then pull the whole thing straight up. And it's not even attached by studs, it's just kind of held down in there. But this has a nice action to it, the way that it works with the whole ship or craft or whatever you want to call it. Just give it a nice little tug and pull it even faster, and that just hit my ceiling. There are a lot of different colors and shapes of parts all throughout this set, which can be seen as nice texturing or maybe a little bit of a garbled design, depending upon how you want to look at it. I personally think that some of the areas look good and some of them look a little bit awkward. These engine pods on the side are actually able to rotate around different ways. They're on some ball joints, the CCBS style ball joints, so those can be posed in different kind of ways. And I did have this problem right here of this assembly coming off in the front on pretty common occasion, pretty frequent occasion, while just moving this around and just checking it out. Another thing that falls off easily is any one of these barrels on the front that appear to be shooters sticking out. Interesting that they attach them to the bases of Astromech, of Star Wars Astromech droid legs. I like how that's done, but these do fall off pretty easily. The entire canopy section folds forward and kind of reminds me, not only in its design, but also the type of piece that's used and also the coloring here, kind of reminds me of the Slave 1, but this all folds forward with the guy in it, but the intention is that you would bring him up by angling this back up, so you could kind of imagine that's being done at the same time. He's got a very nice exclusive sticker there to represent his console, and he does have 2 flight control sticks he's holding. Behind there, more Star Wars stuff. I don't know how they keep getting away with that, but hey, it works. You've got a couple of places where you can contain things, you can hold things there, and you can put extra shots for these stud shooters in there. We'll see those with the figure later on. He does have a coffee mug, even though it's not a LEGO City set. And down below you've got some space where you can pose some minifigures or do some relatively idle things between battles. And there are a couple of consoles deep inside of there with stickers on them. And here's what that looks like from the back. You've got one little platform here with a clip piece on the top to hold an arrow blade. We'll see that in just a minute. And then the more squarish container back there would hold the scabbard and twin katanas for Ronin, which he can't be wielding while he's sitting in the pilot seat. You also got a very nice large built-up sword up here at the top. Here's a closer look at Ronin himself with his dual stud shooters. He also has twin katanas. And on the right is Kai with the buildable shuriken that they call an arrow blade. This is the fire one, the red one. And those are intended to be collectible, but of course they are buildable, so you can just put whatever colors that you want in there. For each, you just have to kind of collect extra bases, the center sections. That's what they look like from the back by default. And there they are with everything removed. Of course, it's important to see the full face of Ronin here as well. Here on the left is the Scythe Master Gul-Tar, and on the right is Attila. I really like the scythe, how they've used that piece, the new weapon piece that they've brought in with the two different colors, and I really like that wraith base that's used for Gul-Tar there. Just a really cool looking piece, very three-dimensional, and they do once again put together the two different colors of plastics, and they just kind of blend together in some really organic ways. I also really like the back of this hood, which is transparent. Here they are with everything removed, and this is not intended to be a face on the back there. That's intended to be a metal plate that's holding together a big old crack in the skull there. As you look around from the front, you see he's got just a skull design for his face. Also, one screamer included with this set with a piece of poultry, a poultry leg, because they have a huge appetite. They're always going after food, and these are able to fit over a figure. I've shown that before, so that you can actually kind of temporarily possess a figure by using this, by just putting it over their head. Lastly, though, the bad guys in this set are at least semi-ethereal and should be able to fly around on their own. They do include a ghost dragon here. It's just a small one, but just kind of makes it seem a little bit more menacing and intimidating that you actually have another flying thing rather than just the minifigures to go against. And this is very small and doesn't have a whole lot of pieces to it, but it's kind of nicely built. It has a lot of articulation where you can move the head around, you can adjust these horn-like ear sections back here. Not a big fan of the side of the mouth right there, the way just the two barbs, how they come down, looks a little bit too easy. You're able to move move the tail up and down, curl it in, curl it down, kind of get some different looks to that. And then you've got ball joints here, so you can move these kind of wing-like sections around quite a bit. So yeah, not too bad looking, small little thing. All told, I like the general things that they were going for with this set, with its design. I very much like how the Airjitsu flyer is integrated into it. That works quite well with the handle. But to be honest, there are a lot of things on this set, especially the main R.E.X. itself, that just fall apart a little bit too easily during play. I feel like this ends up being a little bit better of a display model, even though it really shouldn't be with all the play features, but things falling off and being knocked off very easily is just not a good thing. It's not fun for play. To avoid all that, I think that a lot of younger kids would really do well to take off a number of the small things that fall off easily. Just go ahead and be rough with it, see what falls off, and then just leave that stuff off, because you're not really losing a whole lot when you lose some of those little details. You still get the major play features in there, but it's just unfortunate that there are those things that were kind of overlooked that I think could be a little bit frustrating for kids who really want to keep everything together and intact all the time. So that's my look at the set. I think I've shown everything that's important to show, and I've shared my thoughts about it, so please feel free to share your thoughts by leaving a comment down below, what you think about the set, what you think about its design, its colors, and the integration of stuff, and how much it would be frustrating for you to have just a handful of small things breaking off, or is that really not that big of a deal to you? Thank you in advance for your feedback. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you again soon.